amazing. And the song I've picked is Saddam a Go-Go.
Yeah, it's one.
Okay.
Saddam's great.
And this is off. This is the fourth album. This came out in '94. And listen, Gwar was just a big middle finger to everything and everything.
Yeah.
Everything and every fucking scene that was
Incredibly
going on.
underrated musical band as well.
Oh yeah, but this
Incredibly
particular song was like zoning right in on the whole fucking.
The Iraqi thing, was it?
Well, it was no man. It was like this whole thing was. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of text messages and shit here.
We're reading our research here.
It was about ska bands, this massive ska explosion that was going on in '94 in America.
Which is actually worse than the Saddam thing.
Worse than everything.
But this is why they did it. And if you, like, the lyrics are basically Saddam is going around and he's fucking taking out all these
Real big
pussy
fish,
ass
yeah.
fucking ska bands that were, what I loved about them was, okay, where we are, do people know where this venue is or no? Okay, well, where we are, there was a very, very special guy that worked in this place that I knew called Chris, who's very, very close to me, and he was fucking amazing, and he was just a complete brain when it came to music, and we both collectively loved Gwar because Gwar they just were so fucking like if anything got to the point where it was just even breaking to the mainstream, Gwar were there to fucking just drill it back down and pull it back down with the most, it was so ridiculously offensive that even the most stuck up fucking people had to kind of laugh at the genius of it.
Yeah.
And it was, Brock, who Odorous Urungus, who sadly passed away, man.
That's right, yeah.
It was
was it last year?
No, it was 2014.
Really?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, I thought that was literally... I'm so old.
No, it was 2014. That
Years are going by like months.
Dave Brocky, 2014. He was given a Viking burial in where he lives in the same place that Randy from Lamb of God. I can't stand the way he talks, but anyway, they have the Gwarbecue every year.
That's brilliant.
They gave him a full-on corpse out on a fucking lake, torched it. The dude was an absolute legend. All these guys were very educated people. They were qualified English teachers. They were qualified. The current singer of Gwar, I interviewed Gwar last year on this new album. Maximus Beefimus or whatever the fuck his name is. He's now graduated up to the singer. He was doing TED Talks. This guy, this band was just incredible. This song to me, by title, by name, by everything about it, to me, sounded like a track that just should have been on Speak English or Die by SOD, which to me is one of the greatest fucking albums that was ever released under any genre. It was a flash in the pan. It was recorded in a couple of days by people from various different corners of a very interesting scene in America that was happening. And I fucking love this band. And I love how today people are still so goddamn offended by them. And they just did a run of, they played the Warped Tour. The Warped Tour recently or was it Warped? It's one of those pathetic fucking American traveling things. I was in America.
Where they set up skateboards.
I was
in the middle of the stage.
I was over there. I was invited down by a band that I won't mention now as a guest when Warped hit Portland. I went down with my brother and I couldn't believe what I was looking at, man. It was just the death of fucking music. Yeah. And I could understand when I say to these bands, Jesus Christ, when you tour Europe, and they're like, now you know what we've got to deal with here. Anyway, my song is Saddam a Go-Go. It's Gwar are fucking amazing.
Yeah. They really, really, really are.
They've never played Ireland. They were due to play Ireland.
Really?
8 years ago.
That's when I tried to book them.
They were scheduled in for the Button Factory and the whole gig was pulled. They have, I know, by interviewing them...
Was it the Iona Institute giving it the big one again?
They have been over here as tourists. Yeah. They're familiar with the place. They love it. They're just a fucking amazing band.
Lads, can we still put Gwar on now?
Do you know why Gore never played here? I'll
Why?
tell you why, because there's a reason I didn't do it. 2 40-foot trucks full of stage equipment.
Yeah.
They have that condensed right down.
When I tried to book them, it was around the time I tried to get Wu-Tang, right?
You tried to get Wu.
I had
Differently,
Wu-Tang for
we'll do
about
that.
a day.
We'll do that a different
I had
step.
Wu-Tang for the day until I got the actual rider. It wasn't the band's fee, it was the rider.
Cavossier!
Jesus, man.
Shocking, lad. Shocking. Right.
20 hookers. This,
It
that.
was outrageous.
Per man.
The Gwar tour itself, money-wise, was fine, and I would have
What
made
year are we talking here?
it. Around the time where they were
90s.
booked in and was cancelled, yeah. No, it would have been...
Early noughties. Odorous was still front in the band.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It would have been around the late... It would have been 2009, 2010, I would say. Yeah, it would have been just around the time where this place where we're sitting in right now, around that time. We were booking bigger
never.
bands. No, it wasn't here. It was absolutely not.
No, you want to make a few quid back.
No, it was a big venue. And when I got all the details of the tour in, at the time there was 2 40-foot lorries. As like the band had the bus that the
But
band
you know that tour never fucking happened purely because of that.
exactly. Nobody. The whole gig was
The logistics are incredible.
Logistics were a bitch, but it was also like fucking. They were coming over on one ferry, and then the gear was coming over on another.
Like I know
And
we're talking
one or the
about
other.
we're talking about masked bands now.
Yeah.
Like these guys, what they wear alone would take up.
It's beyond masked. It's entire. It's just
Power
it's-
Ranger suits.
They're huge.
Power Ranger baddies.
And their
is what they were.
instruments alone are bigger than regular
Yeah,
instruments.
exactly.
It's immense.
And they are fucking awesome.
They're so
musicians.
Gwar are so
But
good, man.
It was there was a clause in the contract that fucking if the lorries, the trucks full of equipment didn't arrive, the band didn't have to play, but you still have to pay them a full amount. Right?
But
Now,
that could
that's-
lead to some
Yeah.
ropey.
Yeah, so when you're there and there's a fucking 10-foot cock coming through Irish customs and Podrick, who is, you know,
decides to have a
it
bad
was
day,
just-
and
yeah,
he comes
don't do
down
it.
and he's
Yeah.
like,
It was just a clusterfuck, and it was one of those things like money wise, it wasn't too bad. Logistics were all included via the booking fee and all that type of shit wasn't too bad. But the way it was working out was that the band were going to go over like a day ahead of the gig, but the equipment wasn't arriving until the day of the gig.
too
And
risky.
if something went wrong, it was all over.
So
and
you
I
have a
still had to
window,
pay.
so
Yeah.
you're
I
squeaky
had a-
arse time all day.
Full on.
No,
Yeah,
no.
And it just wasn't worth it. And
Like, whatever about the band would be cool enough, but Ireland itself will find a way to fuck you over, so don't do it.
Well, I kind of think we're nearly past that now.
Oh, now we are.
I think the last time anyone had to stick up their arse about anyone was Watain. And it was all over the Sun newspaper and whoever booked them at the time.
Behemoth the last year.
Funny story, I know we're talking about masked bands, a funny story about what time one of my mates did a load in, load out for them at a festival, and he said, that shit they wear smells like the worst thing that's
I
ever
can
happened.
vouch for that because they closed Bloodstock in 2018 and I was backstage and
It's actual dead animal
Yeah,
skin.
no, it is. They have, it is absolutely
I'd
fucking
heard that before,
disgusting.
yeah.
I heard like what time, I know a guy.
Do you know the story about when they played what is now Opium upstairs? What the fuck was it called?
Village.
The Village.
the village,
upstairs.
right? Yeah.
Did you hear about this story? Right,
No.
Watain played there, right?
I'm glad we're talking about what time because I omitted them.
And
from
I will
this,
tell you
yeah.
this for a fact: the fucking smell of their decomposed pig's blood that they have on tour with them
Wearing it on their faces,
everywhere. I mean,
it's disgusting.
I've seen shit,
Yeah.
seen with my own eyes. That's beyond the Necronomicon, Evil Dead, like real world shit. That's makes you kind of think this is a bit weird. They played in the
Village,
the village,
The village, yeah.
and the fucking smell of the
Actual dead animal corpses
was
that they're
wafting
wearing.
down through the vents into the bar downstairs. They put on one of the most visually astounding shows.
I saw them last year at Grasspop. Unbelievably good.
You saw what I saw. Bloodstock. It was absolutely phenomenal. We walked into that tent at 1 in the morning, or fucking 11. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm getting all my times mixed up. The main stage closes, so they're on around about 11:30 midnight.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, the fire, so much fire.
But
Rammstein leveled the
warm.
fire, and that's on a much
there was
smaller
shit
stage.
burning on stage all night. But
Yeah.
anyway, listen, man, back to Gore. I'm just saying, you were booking them.
Yeah.
I've seen them. You've never seen them. They are now a different thing altogether. I think they have. Dave Brockie was the fucking dude that he was just this absolute complete psychotic lunatic.
And he was taking those 244s or nothing.
Well, they were collectively a group of really anarchic fucking art students, very educated people that took residency in an abandoned kind of film studio place where, like, there was actually a guy making really shitty sci-fi movies in, like, the studio next to them. And they were like stealing his props.
It's amazing.
And that's where it all came from. Like, if anyone is on Amazon Prime, there's awesome war documentary up there.
Watch one of them tomorrow. Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
sign up to Amazon Prime for free and
you get, like,
watch
2
them
weeks.
all and then bail out again. But like fucking amazing shit, man.
Or you could just give us some Patreon money.
yeah,
we'll tell you about
and
it.
then we'll just talk you
Yeah.
through it.
Exactly.
We'll watch it and talk you through it. We'll commentary like the sci-fi. Remember the sci-fi stuff on the Sci-Fi Channel where they'd watch the movies. And
Oh,
they'd have-
Mystery Science
Mystery
Theatre.
Science Theatre.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
Listen, Gwar, if you are listening to this and you're a fucking kid and you're in your late teens or early 20s, they are unreal. Like,
Yeah.
you can't touch them
agree.
from the late 80s up to like the first album, Scumdogs, right up to the Earth Planet, Toilet Planet, or whatever it is. Anyway, let's move it on.
Helmet, what's the last one of the podcast? Hit us.
Just before I move on to it, I'm glad that Oran picked Gwar because I had Gwar.
Yes,
I
you
had
did.
Dirty Filthy off Ragnarok
Yeah.
as my song. And when I saw that he picked it, I was like, grand, I can come in with the only rap.
The only one. I had
only-
another rapper and I didn't do it, yeah.
The only rapper in this whole thing is MF Doom.
Yep.
Yeah.
MF Doom, I love him so much. I love him so much.
Even though he's a Brit.
But
He is. Just stop ruining me fucking notes. Stop reading through my notes.
I know. I like
No, we've
MF
talked
Doom, I
about
know.
it before. MF Doom is a London. He was born London.
Yeah.
Moved to New York. He still doesn't have an American passport, which is incredible for someone that. Or is it?
I think a lot of people that live in New York don't have
That's a fair point.
American passports. I lived in San Francisco for a time.
Trump will sort that out eventually. I'm sure. You know, could go through. Fucking MF Doom will have to move back to fucking London.
He won't.
No, you won't.
Can't happen.
MF Doom, Daniel DeLume, born in London. His whole thing is, we've talked about this. His quote is, "I'd rather people care about the music than what it looks like." He said when he was growing up writing music, all he saw was people promoting their own fucking face and the shit they were wearing and all this stuff. He's mad into the villain aspect of being the villain of rap. That's why he wears a mask that looks a little bit like maybe a X-Men.
No, it looks
it's-
it looks like fucking
It's the gladiator
Doom.
mask.
It's the gladiator mask, but
But it looks like Doom from
That's where the name comes from.
Exactly, yeah.
But he's wearing the gladiator mask. He's wearing, what's his name? Russell fucking... the actor,
Russell
Gladiator.
Crowe.
Russell
Russell
Crowe.
Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. It's the mask from the Gladiator movie with Russell Crowe. Is what it is.
Tiny-
What he's using.
Do you ever see him in Dublin?
No, I didn't.
Mark Murphy from Choice Cuts, who runs the Sugar Club, which is great.
Oh,
venue.
some of those fucking choice cuts are
Mark
incredible.
has
Yeah.
put him on a couple of times, and Mark is a fucking super sound guy and a great venue.
Doom got famous at the start for being a producer, I believe.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
but listen, a lot of these people that will like eventually find themselves into rap will be like Kanye West.
Yeah,
I don't really
Kanye,
want to be
yeah,
into
yeah.
the whole thing, but then all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to keep this one for myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to keep this one for myself. All of a sudden, I have an album.
know-
This lad is prolific.
Doom's whole thing, I believe, at the start was that he was just messing around, making tracks, producing tracks for people. And
Do
giving
you
them-
like him?
I love.
Oh,
Right.
he's so
Because I know,
good.
listen, there's one thing between the three of us sitting around here, we may come across as liking probably heavier.
Especially in this podcast. But that's
But
what's always going to
I
be the
do
idea. Yeah.
love a lot of I love a lot of old school hip hop. I love.
Yeah.
I like really electronic music. I like lead belly stuff. I like whatever. We just love fucking great music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
music is music.
Absolutely,
Company.
yeah.
But I know that you have more. I know Gar more than you.
No,
I'm
yeah,
just
he's the
I
hip-hop
know that
guy.
you have a major kind of affiliation and a
Fucking
love for
hard
hip hop.
on for hip hop.
Like, and you
Yeah.
know your hip hop.
for me as a young fella, it was
Yeah.
metal and
But
hip
it's
hop.
as heavy as fuck. It's heavier than.
Yeah.
Hip hop to me as being hip hop's the only music I ever felt evolved through my lifetime. I believe by the time I was 14, metal had hit its peak, I believe by the time I was 14, punk had hit its peak. Like every genre had hit its peak. Bar maybe electronica, but it took me a couple of years to get into that. I was in my 20s.
But why then would you enter into 20